If you're hearing a lot of licking noises, this is why. This is why. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Freydis and I'm in eastern Norway. It's currently the middle of January, which is why the lighting is very poor. I hope it's okay. Today I have a couple of finished objects to share. I also have one work in progress as well as one abandoned work in progress that I'm gonna frog. I also have some natural dyeing to share, although I haven't actually done that yet. I'm gonna dye using Alder acorns, and I've never done it before, so I'm a bit nervous that it won't actually, I won't get any good results. Right now it's shortly before the actual midwinter here in Northern Europe. According to the pre-Christian lunisolar calendar, the midwinter falls on the first full moon after the first new moon, after the winter solstice. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And this year this falls on the 13th of January. 13th, that was a difficult word to say. We are now halfway through winter, halfway to spring, which means it's really about time I started thinking about my garden and do some proper garden planning and maybe order some seeds and at least start the slow growing seeds. I really can't wait to get started. But this is not a video about gardening, this is a video about yarn and knitting and my cat, apparently. So first I want to talk about my pride and joy. This is the Into the Wild sweater, which is by Tania Barley. I knit this in Lettloopy. I sometimes get Plötterloopy and Lettloopy confused, but this is Lettloopy. This is the first time I've ever used Lettloopy, and I'm so in love with how it knits up, the fabric it creates. The halo is spectacular. It is a little bit big. As far as I can tell, I am mostly on gauge. I didn't size up in any way. I should rather have sized down probably. And it feels a bit too wide over the shoulders. I kind of want to make another one anyway. So yeah, you live and you learn. But if I do make another one, I'm gonna make it in a brown, I think, or at least not the same green. But I love the colors I chose for this, and I'm just so very, very happy with it. This is Into the Wild, like I said, by Tania Barley. And this is one of the first patterns I ever bought from Ravelry, and it was, I think this was the pattern, the colorwork pattern that made me want to learn how to do colorwork. But it still took me a couple of years to try it, because in some places you have to knit using 3 colors, which is a bit more complicated, and I wanted to be more comfortable doing colorwork before I tried to do this. Even though I was very careful, I still managed to make a lot of really annoying colorwork mistakes. Let's see if you can see. So this is the front. These foxes are correct. And here you can see this one. I there's a black one there, black stitch. Should be, the black and the white stitch should switch places. That's kind of annoying, but mistakes like that can be fixed by doing some yarn embroidery. I don't know what the stitch is called in English, but you can basically stitch over the wrong color in the right color. As long as the mistakes are just very few, that's a completely okay thing to do. I also have a couple of other strange ones. Let's see. This tree, or upside down tree, I don't know what to call it. This is correct. And here is my strange creation. And here is another one that's kind of off. Here you can see the differences. You can't really see it all that much until I point it out, I think, but it's kind of annoying that it's the foxes that are, you know, right here where I talk to people, and when I look in the mirror and that's what I see. If it had been in the back, I wouldn't really have cared all that much. So I'm a bit annoyed by that, but I might go over the stitches and try to fix them using the right colors. It's not really that big of a deal. I'm so very, very happy with how this turned out and that I was able to do this. This was a very big dream knit for me. If you would like to knit this but you feel a bit intimidated because there are more than 2 colors, don't worry about it. You're gonna figure it out. It's only a few rows anyway, so, and it's a big gauge, so it knits up quickly. You can do it. I believe in you. And then you get these very cute foxes. And the next finished object is the one I'm wearing. This is a very, very basic, simple raglan sweater. I followed a pattern by a Norwegian designer called Krauseri. I don't think her patterns are in English yet, but it's just the most basic, simple raglan sweater you can imagine. What's great about her patterns is that she explains everything very, very thoroughly. They are very beginner friendly, and for the raglan sweater she also offers different instructions for different gauges, and also it also tells you how to adapt it in different ways, so it's a really great pattern for beginners in that sense. And this is not the pattern's fault, this is my fault, but I should have knit the turtleneck longer, because now it's too long to be a mock turtleneck and it's kind of too short to really be folded down. I wish it was just a couple of centimeters longer, so it would be more like this maybe. So yeah, but no big deal. I was a bit skeptical of how this turned out at first, because I don't really usually wear sweaters that have this much positive ease. I kind of wish I had chosen a smaller size, because I wasn't really on gauge, so the sweater is bigger than intended even. I think I gave myself an extra 10 centimeters of positive ease by being off gauge, but it's still within a reasonable amount of ease. It's just not really something I usually wear. But I'm getting over it, and also the Into the Wild sweater also has a lot of positive ease, so I'm just gonna have to learn to like it better. Let me show you how it actually looks. This is how it actually looks. I kind of feel like it's giving kind of a 90s vibe with these large arm holes. Yeah. The sleeves are kinda baggy, which to me is very 90s, maybe even 80s. And there's just something about the shape and the length that just really reminds me of sweaters from my childhood. The length, I'm very happy with the length. Part of my thinking when making this was that I wanted to make a very cozy sweater, and I wanted it to be quite long because I want to be able to use this for let me just sit down again. I wanted this to be a sweater for really cold winter days, and I wanted there to be no chance of the sweater riding up and letting cold air in unnecessarily. It definitely works for its intended purpose. The yarn is an alpaca blow yarn by Pickles Oslo called Cozy, which I've knitted with many times before. I really like this yarn. It's quite pricey, but it's very good quality. It doesn't shed any fibers. I've heard that other alpaca blow yarns sometimes shed fibers. I've never seen this yarn do that. I actually didn't even know that that was possible from blow yarns. And then the last finished object I have, I actually just finished this a few days ago, to be honest, is another Festive Yoke by Skeindeer Knits. I started way too late. I started like 2 weeks before Christmas Eve. I tend to overestimate how much knitting I'm gonna get done before Christmas. There's so many other things to do, and I don't have nearly enough time, or nearly as much time to knit as I imagine I will have. Those are not normal weeks. I haven't woven in any ends yet because there is a chance I have to redo the sleeves because they are a bit tight. I tried to stretch them when I blocked it, but I don't know, we'll just have to see. The yarn, by the way, is Highland wool from Hobby. I think the color is called Port, and the light color is champagne, I believe. Maybe I should have written this down before I started filming. And then I have this work in progress, which I'm gonna frog, and I'm gonna explain why. So this is the Angrboda shawl by Sjösvärd. I've knit this in the same yarn as the sweater I'm wearing, so this is also Pickles Cozy. The fabric is a bit too bulky or too thick, really, to be wrapped around my neck twice and then have a jacket over it. It's just too much fabric, too heavy. I'm gonna frog it because it just won't fit underneath my jackets once I'm finished with it. And I know I wouldn't really use it because I have other scarves that are quite big and bulky and I never use them. So that's why I'm gonna frog it. And then there's my work in progress. This is an Oslo hat by Petite Knit. This is my third Oslo hat, and I think I'm gonna finish this today. It's such a quick knit. I think I use 3 days in total for making an Oslo hat, and I really need more hats because the other Oslo hats, I've worn them so much. I worn them almost daily for months and months and then some months, so they're getting kind of worn out and I really need to make more. I love the Oslo hat and I can't wait to finish it and replace the most shabby looking of my other Oslo hats, which was knit in Drops Charisma. I'm hoping this will have a bit better variability. I'm knitting this in Volevo, soft merino. Volevo, I don't really know how I'm supposed to pronounce this. But this is the yarn. So those were my knits, and now for some natural dyeing. But first we have to pick the Alder cones.